Hello again. So today we have a little project. It's not too big, but I live on a fairly busy street, and in the winter the plow guy sometimes pushes a little too much snow or something happens and my mailbox gets damaged. Well, I've lived here for about 7 years. This is gonna be my 4th time replacing it, as you can see in here. All the traffic, but it's gonna be my 4th time replacing it. And this time I'm gonna make something a little different. This is all destroyed. It's all coming apart and broken as it is. It's hanging out into the road. But I'm gonna make it out of 6x6 this time instead of 4x4. All at Home Depot sells is 4x4s and these metal ones, and I don't really like how they look. So I'm gonna make one out of 6x6. Let's see if I can get this out of here one-handed. Yep, alrighty. Okay, so I got the old mailbox out of the ground, and as you can see, this is broken right off. Nice, broken right in half. But I laid it together and as best as I could, and I got some rough measurements. So those measurements I have on a piece of paper we're going to look at, but roughly it's 6 foot tall from bottom to top. This is about 16 inches sticking out. This is 4 inches. That's really all I really need. This, I mean, it's only maybe 16 or 18 inches in the ground. So the new one I got, a 6x6, 8 foot tall, and I happen to have another 6x6, 6 foot tall that I'm going to use to make the new mailbox. But in here I'm going to change a couple dimensions. So on this side over here you have the 16 inches from here to here. That's currently 53 inches from here to here. That's current. The overall height is 6 foot. Then the offset in the front is 17 inches. Offset in the back is 4 3/4. I'm going to be changing it a little. Because I'm going with an 8 foot 6x6, I'm going to go 70 inches on bottom. That's going to give me another 1.5 foot or so to bury into the ground so it doesn't tip forward like it did before. I'm going to go 20 inches on top because I like having this little detail up here that's actually visible, because on this one I have a larger mailbox, and from the front of it you don't even see the detail. It's kind of buried behind the mailbox. So yeah, I'm extending that upper portion, but I'm also going to extend this portion right here and this portion. So I'm going to bring the front one out to 26 inches and the back one out to 12 inches. Yeah, can you see it in there? Yeah, there. I'm doing that because I want to be able to put this post in the ground further away from the asphalt. So currently the asphalt is like right here, but I want to be able to move this a little further back by extending this forward so the mailbox overhangs a little more. That way any snow that cascades off the road and whatnot is less likely to hit it because it's another foot back, maybe, ish. So I'm going to set up to cut all that, and I'll show you those processes. All right, see you then. Okay, so I have my dimensions marked out on here. This is going to be the upright over here. That's the longer one. I have my dimensions right here. There's a line right there and a line right there. And then down here, you can also see 2 lines going down and across. I'm going to be cutting this out and making a half lap joint for this 6x6 to fit into it. And here's my marks right here on this one. Line right there, cutting out this area. This is going to flip over and nestle into that and then get screwed together. But this one needs to get cut down for length. So I also have that mark over here. I'm going to cut that so I'm not dealing with this bigger chunk, which I don't need to be moving right now. In order to cut out these pockets, I set my saw blade to the very tip of the tooth to that bottom line. And I'm just going to make a bunch of cuts every 1/8 inch or maybe 1/4 inch, and then take a chisel and a hammer and snap all the chunks out of this area, and then I'll smooth it off with the chisel and hammer afterwards, and then, like I said, they'll nest together. Alright, I'm going to do that now. You guys will get to watch some of that. See you then. Alright, so that is what it starts to look like. I should have probably showed you the fingers, but that's the pile of them. You saw how easy they break out. Now I'm just going to chisel it out real quick. I'll cut the other one. I'll probably do that one on time lapse, but you can watch doing the chiseling for this one if I can set it up without knocking it over. Now this is only a 6x6 and it's for a mailbox post. It doesn't have to be perfect. You just want to try and get it flat. Right now I'm just using a beater chisel. After I'll grab a sharper chisel. Do it by hand. Alright, that looks about good for this joint. Like I said, it's not perfect. You can still see some ridges in there, but it's just a half lap joint on a 6x6. That's more than plenty good enough. Alright, I'm going to set up a time lapse for the next one. You can see after. Okay, so here you have it. Here's our two joints. One right there, one right there. I'm going to show you quickly how they go together. Let's hope this view gives you this. We're just going to slide in here. Like that. Except I'm not going to beat it all the way down into submission because it's a snug fit. And I still want to do some stuff to this. So, let's see. Up top. Kind of like that. Over here, I want to cut some type of angle on here, give it a little decorative edge. Same with over here. I want to cut an angle over here for a decorative edge. And then up here on this, I don't like ever leaving a 4x4 or a 6x6 perfectly flat on top. We live in I live in New England, and if snow builds up on here, it can sit on there, and ice can build up. It can break it apart prematurely. So I'm going to cut a pyramid on it. And then I might do some type of trim ring with a router. I'm undecided about that yet, but I'll see what I can do. Alrighty, I'm going to just do all that with a time lapse because it's not too fun to watch real time. Okay, so you saw me butcher one of these cuts. Right there, you can see a step there, another step there, step there. That's why I ended up cutting through, I think it was this side. I ended up recutting and cut a second set of cuts to make it a nice 45 degree. I cut a 1/4 inch off, so it's a 1/4 inch smaller than what I planned on, but again, it's a mailbox post, that's all right. This is ready to assemble. I got my pyramid over here. That was a little tricky. I forgot how to use this saw. It's been a while since I've actually used all the functions on this saw. Maybe I should start using it more, but yeah, whatever. I got my pyramid cut on that. I have a 45 cut on this side. I have a 45 cut on this side. And now all I have to do for this step is drop this in, feed it into place, screw it down. I'm going to place this on here. Take my dead blow. That is nice and tight and flush in there. I don't know, can you see how close it is? Right here is perfectly flush, right here is up maybe a 32nd, over here is perfectly flush, and up here is about 32nd. It's pressure treated, it's going to vary a lot. What I have for screws for this are, where are they? Over here. I'm screwing it together with these. They are 4.5 inch headlock. Meant for decking, ledger boards, all that stuff. I'm going to put a couple in here, 2 in both sides. That way they will not come apart. I trust them a little better than regular decking screws. When I put them in, I'm going to stagger them. So I don't want to put them right in the same grain line. There. Sunk down in there flush. I'm going to flip it over and put the alternator to it. This is one heavy mailbox post. Hopefully I don't ever have to replace it again. I still have another piece to add in. Let's run it off there. Go back. I mean, this is overkill. These do have a smooth part and a threaded part, so once it goes through one, the threaded part goes into the other and sucks them together. I just like doing it from both sides. One, it gives it a little bit of symmetry. 2, better safe than sorry. What's 2 screws cost? I don't want to have to do this again in 2 years like the rest of them. Alright, there's that step. But I do want to point out there's something missing here. A support that goes across here. Granted, with it being a 6x6, that would definitely hold it without a doubt, but it kind of looks a little empty. Because over here, if you look at this, most mailbox posts have some type of support there for looks. Granted, those are 4x4s, so they need it. This is a 6x6, it doesn't, but it's going to look better. So, that scrap that I had before, I'm just going to use that to whatever angle I can. Somewhere around there. Let's try and make it uniform. 9 1/4, 9. So 9 1/8, go 9 1/4. Nine and a quarter, 9 1/4. So all I'm going to do with this is go on the underside and mark a line. Here's my lines, there and there. I'm just going to transfer them to the other side so I can cut through, because my saw blade's not 5.5 inches depth, it only has a 3-inch cut. Alright, so I'll do that, set up a time lapse, get this all set up, and see you in a minute. Okay, so now I'm just marking out where I want to put the screws. I have 4.5 inch screws, so I want to be in here about 2 1/4 inches where the screw goes across here. So there is 2 1/4 inches into the meat of that. So that brings it right across there, and then over here it brings it right across here. That's my depth. Now I want to transfer that across to the actual face where I'm going to be drilling, over here and over here. You don't have to do this, it's just I figure this is a finished face, want to make it look nice and even and neat. I'm going to set them in 1.5 inches on each side. There and right there. While I'm at it, so I'm not finagling with it and fighting it and rocking all over the place, I'm just going to pre-start them. Why not? Doesn't hurt. Serves another purpose. That line I marked on the other edge, it's a good indicator to follow, so it runs perpendicular. Get a nice tight joint without it sliding. Alright, let's move this right there. Where can you see it? I'll try and keep my hands out of the way. Helps if I hold the tip in. There. Good. Drill doesn't stand up on its own upside down, does it? Alright, that is my new mailbox post. Once I have it dug in place and set and all that, I'm going to take the mailbox off of this. This down here is a PVC block that's built in, or not built in, but cut to fit underneath. I like to use the PVC because it doesn't rot, whereas the pressure treated, I end up replacing a bunch. Alright, I'm going to get this posted, or mounted, and then I'll get back. All right, so here's our hole. I don't know if it's ever gonna focus because how dark it is, but it's about 3 feet deep. I need to set all the way up to this line in, so it has the right depth for the mailman. I'm gonna set up a time lapse of that getting set and leveled and all that. See ya. Okay, there we have it. New mailbox post. Some new numbers for the mailbox. It's all in there. Nice and plumb. Down about 3 feet, so hopefully this time it doesn't start leaning forward. As you saw in one of the videos, I put in that PVC board. I do that because, like I said, I don't like how the pressure treated ones rot. It allows me to mount this nice and easy. Yep, there it is.